Hey everybody, I am so glad that you are here tonight. Thank you for jumping on Team Call. My name is Chris Rosencrans and I am a diamond with Plexus. If you have not met me before, I hope we get to meet at convention. I know that we are wrapping up April here, but convention comes in fast after May because if you guys have kids in school like I do, May is just a nutty month. I know this week is crazy for our family, and it just kind of seems to do that all the way till the end of the school year. So, yeah, hopefully I get to see everybody here on this call at convention. But yeah, I'm just glad that you guys are here tonight. It's end of the month, and so I know there's a lot of thoughts going on, and there's businesses that need to be run and messages that need to be sent. And so I'm just thankful you guys showed up for team call tonight. And a lot of us have book club on after this. And it's just really important to pour into your business and your mindset and just practicing these things just will help you grow. So I'm just really glad that you guys are here. But something that we're going to talk about tonight, it seems pretty simple. And it's something that we've talked about probably in the past. And I know we've read a lot of books about this. And actually, it's kind of crazy. I was reading our book club. We're doing The Power of One More right now with Ed Milet, who's going to be at convention. Such a good book. And so we are doing that book right now. And I read our chapters for tonight and I was like, oh, isn't that crazy? And I feel like every team call that we've had has matched every chapter that we've read for book club. So it's like we have team call and then right afterwards we have book club and it just all applies. It's amazing. So it's been a really great month of doing those back to back like that with this book, but I feel like that happens every time. So we're going to talk tonight about the power of our choices. So the reality is the life that you're living right now is shaped by the choices that you've made and also the choices that you didn't make. Every day and every moment, you are either moving closer to your goals, and that they have been shaped by the choices that you've created and said yes to for those goals. But also that there's a possibility that there's choices that you didn't make. And so there you may be not as close to your goals as you would like to be. But in every day and every moment, you are either moving closer or further away by what you choose. So couple little stories about that, personal stories. I have been in the fitness and health world for a long time. I taught elementary PE for 18 years, and Plexus came into my life in year 17, and I was a practice what you preach fitness and PE teacher. I exercised, I ate well, but come Plexus, I really needed something more, and so Plexus really helped to fit those puzzle pieces got completed and just really helped me feel a lot better. But I found later on, I found that because I was feeling a lot better, I still did some good practices, but I knew as I was getting older, I knew that I needed to fine tune some things. And so what did I do? I made the choice to invest in a coach, in a health coach. So I learned more about macro tracking and I did workouts that matched the macros and carb cycling that we were doing. And that really boosted my health and helped me reach some health goals that I was really excited and confident about. Now, those things don't always stick because sometimes when you get away from those things, like actually now, I think I tracked my macros for 4 years. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know if I need to do this anymore. But guess what? Sometimes when we get kind of lazy in our choices with our food, with our fitness, other things that we have going on in our life, sometimes we start to slide backwards. And those choices, whether they're good or bad, or even not making choices, which is still a choice, it can change where your goals are at. And so that's something I do still feel like I'm in pretty good health. I know I'm in amazing health. There's other things happening now, 9 years after starting Plexus. I am in the real perimenopause stage of life. And so I'm finding that I'm having to change some of those health choices. I'm having to change my supplement choices and my fitness choices and things that worked earlier in this journey are not working so much right now. And I'm finding that I'm needing to get back into my Fitness Pal app, and I'm having to choose to track more often so that I am making good choices and getting enough protein. So that's kind of just a fitness perspective of making choices, whether they're good or they're bad. Different choices that you make are either going to move the needle forward in your health and fitness goals, or you may end up sliding backwards. But this also can definitely apply to our businesses. And for me personally, I'm just going to share a little bit about that. For a time, a little more recently, I was finding that I was feeling kind of stuck. I felt like I was working hard, but the results of my business were not really showing that hard work. The truth is I was working hard at making the wrong choices. I felt like I was working, I'm sorry, I'm reading some of this stuff. But when I got honest with myself, I realized it wasn't like a big dramatic mistake that I was making. It was a lot of little choices that I was either making or not making, which, like I said before, is still a choice. So the standards of those choices that I was making or not making were not really matching up with the goals that I had and that I wanted to accomplish. And the solution was super, super simple, you guys. I just needed to start making the right choices, and I needed to do that consistently and intentionally to move the needle in the direction of my goals. There's a powerful quote that says, hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. And doesn't that make so much sense? Our days are filled with choices. Some are easy and some are hard. Things like getting up when the alarm goes off, or you don't. Folding the laundry, which you should see my upstairs right now. I definitely have the choice. I have not made the choice to fold laundry right now. And so the consequence of that is my dining room is full of laundry. Doing the dishes or not doing the dishes, cleaning the bathroom or not, doing the workout or not, tracking the food or not, sending the messages or not, making the post or not, following up or not. If we choose to lean into what's comfortable or hard right now, we make our future a little easier. We build up that muscle that at one point was hard to lift, or maybe was followed with a little soreness. Maybe it wasn't very easy. Maybe it kind of stung a little bit the next day. But with time and practice, it does get easier, and you do grow stronger, and you can do it again and again. And then you can increase the weight, you can increase the tasks that you do. You can feel confident about it. Your mindset changes, and everything just continues to move forward. But every time we avoid the hard choice, we may not notice the cost now, but it will undoubtedly show up later. We stay stuck, we stay weak, the laundry piles up, the dishes pile up, and we don't grow. So choosing not to choose is still a choice. Avoiding action is a choice. Settling is a choice. So tonight, I want to challenge you. What if you got bold about making the choices that future you would thank you for? What would that look like for you? What would that look like for your family? Or what would that look like for your community? So, what I want you guys to do right now, I want you to get out a piece of paper if you haven't already done that. We're going to take a minute or actually more than a minute, we're going to take a few minutes to write down some questions, and I want you to get real with yourself and write some answers out. And if you can't tonight, that's okay. You can maybe think about it after the call and maybe even reflect on it tomorrow. So the first thing I want you to write down is number one, what important choice have I been avoiding? What important choice have I been avoiding? We'll just do write them all down first, and then you can answer them. Number two, where am I choosing comfort today, knowing it'll cost me tomorrow? Where am I choosing comfort today, knowing it'll cost me tomorrow? And number three, What one hard choice can I make right now that would change everything for me? What one hard choice can I make right now that would change everything for me? Okay, I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes. Okay, probably wrap that up. And if you didn't finish it, you can always, like I said, you can always reflect on it after the calls, or if you want to reflect on it tomorrow, that's okay too. So the cool thing is, you guys, is that you don't have to make all the choices today. And I think that's something that I know that I put a lot of pressure on myself is I feel like if I don't do everything perfect and that's something perfectionism is not something I typically strive for, but I think when we feel like we're not making the right choices sometimes, or if we feel like we're getting stuck, we get in that mindset of feeling like, okay, well, if I can't do it all right now and do it all and get things right back in order, then I'm not going to do it at all, or it's not going to be good enough. But that's not it. That's not the point. The point is that you just have to do one thing. One thing. Okay? And even though, like for me, I can feel like I get stuck with, I have too much to do or I'm overwhelmed. That's the problem, is we get overwhelmed and we do that to ourselves. And instead of just making a choice, what can I do right now? Making out the list, what are my top things that I need to do right now that's going to help me feel not overwhelmed. What can I get done right now? What's priority? It's just taking that step and doing that one thing. So, what's one thing that you can do in your business? And you don't have to, you're not, especially if you've been avoiding, then you're not going to be able to just all of a sudden message hundreds of people if you right now. But you can message five. You can message five more later in the day. You can message five more tomorrow. You can message five more later. You can do, and it just builds on itself. But it's making that choice to do those things and to take those steps. So it's not that you have to do it all right now. You just have to make that next right choice, and then another one, and then another one. And when you're making those consistent, intentional, next right choices every day, that's when discipline is born. And we know what happens when we flex that muscle of discipline in making good choices. Jim Rohn said, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And Abraham Lincoln said, discipline is between choosing what you want now and what you want most. So, if you didn't finish those 3 questions, do that, make the choice to really reflect on that. Because a lot of times that's the problem is we're not willing to sit and reflect and be ready to like, okay, I do need to make a choices. I want a new choice. I need to change this. Really sit and think about it and choose to make that choice and change. So maybe it's sending a message, making a call, maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's waking up early or doing the thing you've been putting off. There's a quote that I found that was so interesting, but it makes so much sense. And I found a video that goes along with it, and we're going to listen to that. So I'm going to tell you this quote. It's big doors swing on small hinges, and one bold choice can open a whole new door for you. I had to really sit and think about that for a hot second. And then I found um, a 5-minute speech. So I want you to listen to this. And it's not, I'm not going to share my screen because there's nothing to watch. It's just literally just listening to this guy talk. But it is so good. And he explains it really, really well. So listen in to this. And somebody give me a thumbs up. Jackie, I can see you. Give me a thumbs up once you can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it.
Hinges swing big doors. It's a quote by W. Clement Stone. And it essentially means that the small things we do open the door to the big things in life. Mountains are made of single rocks. Oceans are single waves. Symphonies are individual notes. Conversations are individual words. Progress is nothing more than the ability to break big things down into small things. That's it. And those manageable pieces, day in and day out, they become the roadmap to accomplish whatever it is you set out to accomplish. And I love the metaphor of a door, right? The simplicity. It's just a door. But without that little hinge, it doesn't function the same. It'd be impossible to open and close. It would be far less useful, all because of this little hinge. This trivial little thing. It's an afterthought. It's a small detail hidden behind the main attraction, which is one of life's greatest fruits. You know, we see and we celebrate the obvious things, the big things, the mountaintops. We do so to the extent that we forget the extraordinary is just a product of the tiny, uncool, unsexy, unremarkable actions and decisions. We forget what swings the door open. So why is this valuable? Well, when you personally can identify and control the little things in your life, it becomes greatly apparent that nothing is truly out of reach. All options are open. And it's not because of destiny or magic or the fact that anyone deserves anything. No, it's simply realizing that every great accomplishment occurs one step at a time, and that's all. Anyone can take a single step. Anyone can write a single word. And when you break down the greats, that's what they say, right? Kobe talks about breaking his day into consistent, measurable sessions at the gym. Schwarzenegger talks about building his body one rep at a time. Will Smith talks about the methodical practice, the preparation he takes one line at a time. These are hinges. They happen to open the door to NBA records. They open the door to, becoming the world's strongest man. They open the door to Hollywood success. And let's take it even deeper. Personally, I can identify smaller things off the top of my head that have a 10x multiplier on my day. And for me, there's a direct correlation between waking up early and being successful. A successful, productive, happy day. Because I jump out of bed, I feel good, and it carries through. It's a very simple equation. When I get up early, my day's better. Small thing, huge impact. Right? Or having good, healthy food in my fridge makes me feel good. It means I don't rush out to get food somewhere at the last minute. I can plan and I eat well and I feel better. Being around productive, high energy, positive people makes me perform well, period. It causes me to level up. When I remove the negativity, when I surround myself with success, I grow. When I do the opposite, I rationalize mediocrity. It's that simple. These simple things have exponential impact on my journey. They are, you could say, the smallest of hinges, and they played and continue to play a role in opening some of the largest doors I've walked through. The challenge is that, it's easy to brush them off as insignificant or trivial because they are so small. That's always been the obstacle, illuminating and quantifying their value. But when you do, when that light bulb sort of goes off, it's a remarkable transition, right? The differentiator for me between waking up at 5:30 and 8, it's not 2.5 hours. That's not the value. The value is the momentum. It's getting my first win before the world wakes up and embodying that success. At the end of the day, it's mediocrity versus growth. That's just how I am. That's how I feel. That is my tiny hinge. That is my advantage. Now, obviously, those are going to vary, right? Not everyone needs to wake up early. But I would advocate finding what makes you tick, finding that little hinge, paying attention, seeking out simple steps that have tremendous impact. Whether it's consistency, who you spend your time with, the courage to take a single step, try something new. These are seeds that often become the difference. You don't get substantial results without mastering the pieces that create the foundation. And when you remember what actually makes that door open, you put yourself in a position to walk through it.
So good. I just thought that was so good and powerful. I loved all of his different analogies in there, just everything. It was so good. And yes, I will post the link. So, you guys, your choices today create your outcomes for tomorrow. Your life is the fruit of your choices. And the best part, you guys, is that we get to make those choices. We just need to choose on purpose. And it's because we know that we have a purpose. We are here for a purpose. Choose bravely because you are brave. Choose the hard things now so that you can live the life that God created you to live for your purpose. Galatians 6 verse 9 says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." So stay faithful in those hard choices. The harvest is coming. Let's go make those choices that will change everything. That's it. Thanks, you guys, for jumping on the call tonight. Appreciate you taking the time and choosing to show up and spend this time as a team together. Have a great night.